Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today we will discuss about the Dalton's law of partial pressure, grade 11, chapter number 4, and today's lecture number 39. So, in the Dalton's law of partial pressure, the English chemist John Dalton, 1766-1844, already we discussed in the previous lecture that total pressure generated by the gas mixture is equal to sum of partial pressure of all gases present in the mixture. These gases should be non-reactive gases, and total pressure will be equal to pressure of one gas plus pressure of gas 2 plus pressure of gas 3, like this one. Now there is a small derivation to derive the formula how to calculate the partial pressure of different gases. So, we have, suppose, according to general gas equation, ED is equal to nRT. This is general gas equation. Suppose we have a partial pressure of gas A, volume of gas A, number of moles of gas A, or the gas constant, temperature, and so on. So if you calculate the partial pressure of gas A, then this number of moles of gas A and R the gas constant T, the temperature, divided by volume. Likewise, if you have a pressure of gas B, then volume, number of moles of gas B, or the gas constant T, the temperature. So if you want to calculate the partial pressure of gas B, then number of moles of gas B, or the gas constant, temperature, divided by the volume. If you have a third gas, partial pressure of gas C, volume, number of moles of gas C, or the gas constant, temperature. So pressure of gas C will be also same. Number of moles of gas C, R gas constant, temperature, and volume. So, how we derive the formula from this equation? So, when you are going to calculate, add all these pressures and number of moles, then you will get the total pressure and total number of moles. Because according to the definition of Dalton's law of partial pressure, we have sum of the partial pressure of all gases or non-reactive gases present in the mixture. So that is why total pressure of the gases mixture will be equal to number of moles of total or gas constant, temperature, and the volume of the gas, like this one. So if I am going to calculate the partial pressure of gas A, only gas A, then what I have to do? Partial pressure of gas A is equal to number of moles of gas A, or the gas constant, temperature, and number of moles, volume, divided by total pressure, total number of moles, or the gas constant, temperature, and volume. So dear students, R is cancelled by R, temperature is cancelled by temperature, volume is cancelled by the volume. Now after this calculation, you will be able to calculate the partial pressure of the gas A, partial pressure of the gas A will be equal to total number of moles of gas A divided by total number of moles multiplied by total pressure. If I am going to find the partial pressure of gas A, then number of moles of gas will be numerator and total number of moles will be denominator and total pressure will be multiplied. This is the formula for the gas A. Likewise, same for the partial pressure of gas B, number of moles of gas B, total number of moles multiplied by total pressure. Same case, partial pressure of gas C, number of moles of gas C divided by total number of moles multiplied by total pressure. So these are the three formulas. You will be able to calculate the partial pressures of the individual gases present in the container. So, number of moles A, number of moles B, number of moles C. These called total number of moles, and pressure will be given resulted by all gases present in the container. There is one thing. We call mole fraction. Mole fraction. Mole fraction is denoted by capital X. Mole fraction is a ratio. It is the ratio of number of moles of particular gas divided by total number of moles of gases present in a container. So dear students, this formula, so I can write in this form. If I am going to calculate the partial pressure of the gas A, so according to the formula of the mole fraction, so mole fraction of the gas A will be equal to number of moles of gas A divided by total number of moles. So if you have a number of moles of gas A, by addition all you have total number of moles. If you divide, then you will get a mole fraction of gas A multiplied by total pressure. Same case, partial pressure of gas B will be equal mole fraction of gas B multiplied by total pressure. Partial pressure of gas C will be equal mole fraction of gas C multiplied by total pressure. So like this, you have to calculate the partial pressure of all gases present in a container. So these formulas you have to remember, maybe come in the numerical. There are maybe in your book, the numerical is given here. So I'm going to revise. This is the double gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. If there are three gases present in the container A, B, and C, so pressure of gas A, volume, number of moles of gas A, R, gas constant, temperature. Pressure of the gas B, volume, number of moles of B gas, R and T. Pressure of gas C, volume, number of moles of gas B and RT. So if I am going to calculate the pressure of gas A like this formula for the pressure B, this formula, and partial pressure of gas C, this formula. Then I told you that you have to calculate this one. I have calculated all these formulas. Pressure of gas A, pressure of gas B, pressure of gas C, and this is the total pressure of the gases and total number of moles of gases present in the container. So for the calculation, what I done, this equation, individual pressure of the gas A divided by total, this equation, then you have this equation, this one. And this one after dividing. Then I told you there is a mole fraction. mole fraction is the ratio of the number of moles of individual gas divided by total number of moles which has a no unit, we call it ratio. So that's why mole fraction of gas A, the number of moles of gas A divided by total number of moles. Mole fraction of gas B, number of moles of gas B divided by total number of moles. Mole fraction of gas C, number of moles of C divided by the total number of moles of gas C. So these are the formulas. You will be able to calculate the partial pressure of the individual gases. Dear students, in our daily life, there are many applications of Dalton's law of partial pressure. So, dear students, you have to write this everything, these formulas, these three formulas must remember. You can use this formula, you can use this formula. If you use mole fraction, then divide totally, multiply, or you directly you can use this formula also. Now applications. Applications of Dalton's law of partial pressure. Number one is the collection of gases over water. Because of you know that some gases they dissolve in water, some gases they do not. If there is a water on the pond or in the river or in the ocean like this one, so there is a gas present over the water, as well as there are water vapors. This is called a moist gas. This gas is called a moist gas because there are water vapors present in the gas. But we want to calculate the pressure of dry gas without water. Then this law is going to be applicable. First use this here. The Dalton's law is particularly useful when the gas is generated and subsequently collected over the water, provided that gas is insoluble in water. I told you. There are many gases which are insoluble in water. So the total pressure consists of pressure of water vapors in addition of the pressure of the gas that is generated. So the pressure due to the vapors of water is called aqueous tension. So the formula is that total pressure, this is the total pressure, already I told you, pressure of the individual of the gas plus pressure of the aqueous tension, moist gas. So there are two. So if you want to calculate the pressure of the individual gas, then total pressure minus pressure of moist gas. So total pressure minus pressure of the water, moist gas, you will be able to calculate the dry gases. We have numericals we will solve. There are present here. There is one thing. Second use is that respiration. We are taking oxygen gas from the air, and all the gases they have a proportion from the nature. Oxygen 21%, about nitrogen 78%, and carbon dioxide from the nature point 0.3, but I told you due to the pollution it will be increased. There are inert gases also, total 1%. Okay. So they create on the dust particles and water vapors or something. So they create 1 atmosphere pressure at a sea level if you maintain 0 degree Celsius. So pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure, and which is called 760 torr. 760 millimeters of mercury and 760 torr. So at this level, we feel comfortable and we are going to inhale oxygen gas from the air. But if you are there are two pressures where you are going to inhale the oxygen. Outside pressure and inside our body pressure, which is called pressure in the lungs. One is called outside pressure and inside pressure. So if there is a 1 atmosphere pressure, the partial pressure of oxygen in outside air is higher. That is 159 grams per centimeter square. This is the pressure of oxygen outside, 159 grams per centimeter square. That is higher than that of pressure which is present in the lungs. And that's lower pressure of oxygen in the lungs, that's about 116 grams per centimeter square. So this is at 1 atmosphere pressure where we are going. But when we are going to high altitude climbing, when we are going to high altitude, so the pressure of the oxygen is going to decrease. Increasing the height, pressure is going to be decreased. So pressure of oxygen is going to decrease, and people, they are going to climb over the hill, or pilots which are flying the aeroplanes, when the height is going to be more, they feel uncomfortable because pressure is going to be decreased. And this partial pressure of oxygen is maybe 150 grams per centimeter square. That's why artificial equipment, artificial oxygen, or mixture of some oxygen we have to take to balance this pressure. So this is the one thing, that the respiration at high altitude we feel difficult. Normal cases, if we are going to go up to the hill, or we are going to flying, so we feel uncomfortable because of partial pressure, outside partial pressure is going to be decreased from 159 grams per centimeter square to 150 grams per centimeter square. This is our second use. Third, now against, because I'm talking about the man is standing on sea level. At sea level, I told you 159 grams per centimeter square. If go up, then 150. Now, if the one we are diving in the sea, so we are going down here. So when we are going to down, so pressure is going to increase. Partial pressure is going to be increased. The respiration by deep sea divers, this is the third application. So if the diver is breathe air under increased pressure, suppose he is going to be go down about 40 meters depth. 40 meter depth. The pressure increases about 5 times. 5 times increases than the normal pressure when the deep sea diver is under 40 meter depth. Therefore, I told you that we are at sea level. Sea level. The partial pressure of all gases, I told you the proportion. 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen. There are other gases, we are standing. But if you go up, we have to take more oxygen gas. But if you go down, pressure is higher, the normal pressure cannot be used. The normal composition of the air cannot be used because of the more pressure is here. So regular air cannot be used in the diver tanks because partial pressure of the oxygen if you multiply by 5, 159 about, you will get about 795 millimeters of mercury. 795. 5 times increase. Therefore, according to the calculation of the scientist Dalton's law of partial pressure, so deep sea diver must take in the equipment 96% nitrogen and only 4% oxygen in the diver's tank. We call scuba. SCUBA. Scuba is a apparatus these divers use to go inside the sea. So if the diver is present at 40 meters depth inside, 5 times pressure is going to be increased. So 5 multiplied by 159, so you will get 795. So normal gas is oxygen gas, normal is not going to be used. So according to the calculation, 96% is nitrogen and only 4% oxygen is going to be used. Scuba, I told you, the self-contained breathing equipment, breathing apparatus, having oxygen used by divers underwater. I told you earlier. This contains compressed air to breathe. Now this is the problem. When the diver is going down in the scuba breathing apparatus, 96% nitrogen and 4% oxygen he is inhaling. It means that his body, his lungs are going to saturate with the oxygen inside the body. So saturation of the nitrogen inside the body is going to be increased. Increasing and increasing and increasing. If he reaches at 40 meters depth, and then if he comes quickly to the atmosphere level, then what happens? He may feel hazards. There is not a nitrogen gas coming from the body immediately. The nitrogen gas coming from the body slowly and gradually. So that's why he is in danger. He will be in the great danger if he comes very quickly from the depth of 40 meters to the surface, because his body is saturated with nitrogen. And this nitrogen is not come from the body fast or immediately, slowly and gradually. It means that he must present many hours inside the water, and slowly and gradually he come that nitrogen is going to be out from his body to make the normal pressure. So he has hazards. So it becomes hazards for him not handled properly. As the diver comes up, the pressure of surrounding water drops. Consequently, the compressed air in the lungs expands. So surfacing must be done very slowly, so that compressed air may escape out from the lungs without causing damage to them. So if the 96% oxygen is there and 96% nitrogen is there and 4% oxygen is there in the body, he is present at 40 meter depth. So quickly he is not going to come up the surface, because there is a danger with them, great danger, may die. Because of inside the body, the nitrogen gas is spread in the lungs. So how it comes, it slowly will come. It will take time. So he should come very slowly, many hours will take time till the oxygen, nitrogen gas escape to give a normal pressure. So this is the point number 3, continuation of this point. How deep sea divers respire on return from the sea. How they come safe. Then we know that percentage of nitrogen about 78 to 80% in the atmosphere. If nitrogen is present in diver's tank, the solubility of nitrogen in the blood can increase with increasing pressure, and I already told you it is spread in the lungs. And blood of the diver may be saturated with the nitrogen gas, already I told you. So during the dive, this is the same repetition already I told you. So if the diver is going to be returned back quickly, I told you, with a relatively low pressure coming from the high to low pressure, so he will face life-threatening, I told you, danger, great danger. This condition is called pains. This is called pains. He is in life-threatening pains. So deep sea divers must either use different solutions of the gases. Not only nitrogen, not only oxygen. He must use a non-reactive inert gas. It must be lighter. The inert gas, lighter gas must be present in the solution of these two gases. So helium is the best. Helium is the lightest gas and is non-reactive gas. It must be present in this mixture. Helium and oxygen mixture. So helium in oxygen is or spend many hours in the decompression chamber after a dive. The pressure of decompression chamber is slowly lowered over in many hours. So nitrogen gas comes out of the blood and disposed of safely for the normal breathing. So dear students, when the diver come from high pressure to low pressure up, so this equipment, this scuba must contain the helium gas, oxygen gas and nitrogen to maintain the partial pressure, and it is going to be spread out the nitrogen gas from his body and he can return safe. So dear students, these are the applications of Dalton's law of partial pressure. Now there is a numerical I want to solve here, numerical number 4.19. You read the book different example. 4.19. One mole of nitrogen, 3 moles of 1 mole of nitrogen, 3 moles of hydrogen. Enclosed in a container, volume is equal to 10 decimeter cube at temperature 298 Kelvin. What is the partial pressure of gas means for the nitrogen, and partial pressure of nitrogen and partial pressure of hydrogen gases. You have to calculate this. partial pressure of the hydrogen and partial pressure of the. So in the partial pressure I told you the formula. Partial pressure of the nitrogen gas must be equal to number of moles of nitrogen gas divided by total number of moles multiplied by total pressure. Same case, partial pressure of the hydrogen gas will be equal number of moles of hydrogen gas divided by total number of moles multiplied by the total pressure. These formulas. So from here there are no total number of moles. Number of moles of hydrogen, number of moles of oxygen. Okay. There is no total pressure. So first of all you have to calculate the total pressure. Total number of moles when you add, okay, we have the total number of moles 1 plus 3, 4 moles. But we have no total pressure. So according to the gas equation, P total is equal PV is equal to N total RT. So pressure total will be equal N total RT over V. So dear students, if you put the values, total number of moles are 4 multiplied by gas constant 0.0821 multiplied by temperature is 298 divided by volume is 10 decimal cube. So if you are going to calculate, that is pressure total will be equal to, according to this calculation, 9.77 atmosphere. So this is the total pressure. Now it's easy. Suppose I am going to calculate the partial pressure of nitrogen gas. Number of moles of nitrogen 3, 1 mole divided by total number of moles are 4 multiplied by total pressure is 9.77. So the partial pressure of nitrogen is 2.44 atmosphere. And same case, partial pressure of hydrogen will be equal number of moles of hydrogen 3, total number of moles 4 multiplied by 9.77. The answer is given about 7.33. So these are the partial pressures of the two gases. Partial pressures of the two gases. Same case also here. Example number 4.2. The compression of dry air. I told you how we calculate the pressure of dry air, how we collect the dry air above the sea level. Dry air. Nitrogen contains 75.5%, oxygen contains 23.2%, air contains 1.3% by weight respectively. What is the partial pressure of each component when the total pressure is 1 atmosphere? Is the same. So same you have to calculate. First of all, number of moles of nitrogen. These are the 75.5. Number of moles of oxygen 23.2. Number of moles of the argon, that's 1.3. So add them. This will be your total number of moles, and apply these formulas. You will be able to calculate the individual partial pressure of the gases. There is a one numerical I told you. This is number 4.21. 4.21. A certain mass of hydrogen gas was collected over water at 6 degrees Celsius, and the pressure mercury. Pressure occupied by the volume, that is 35 centimeter cube. So temperature is 6 degrees Celsius. So students, 6 plus 273, so you will get 279 Kelvin. And the volume, you have to calculate the volume for this. Now there is one point. At 6 degrees Celsius, the pressure is 765 millimeter of mercury of hydrogen and HCl collected over the water. It means that there are some water vapors. And the question is that calculate the volume of dry. Calculate the volume of dry means gas without any vapors. And the question, this is at STP, standard temperature and pressure. And what is given here? Vapor pressure of water, vapors at 6 degrees Celsius is 7 millimeters of mercury. It means that this pressure 765 is a pressure of the air and also pressure of the water vapors. This pressure is, listen carefully because you will do. This pressure is a pressure of the gas over water plus water vapors aqueous tension. The hint is given, the vapor pressure of aqueous water vapors is given. So dear students, then pressure of the dry air you have to subtract. You have to subtract. So this is the P1, this is the P1 and this is the T1 and this is the V1. Okay. So P1 will be equal to 765 multiplied by 7. Subtract by 7. So you have 758 millimeters of mercury. We subtract from this one. This is the P1. And you have a formula P1 V1 over T1 is equal to P2 V2 over T2. P1 is given, this is a P1, 758. V1 is given, 35 centimeter cube. T1 is given, that is 6 degrees Celsius and it converts into Kelvin 279. And V2 you have to find. So at standard temperature pressure, at SPP it is written, it means that pressure P2 760 millimeters of mercury and P2 is a 273 Kelvin. So don't confuse here. If the P2 is not given and T2 is not given and you have to calculate the volume and these are given for you here, P1 is given, P1 is given, V1 is given and there is given add SPP. When he use SPP, then other these quantities, pressure P2 and T2, there will be a constant quantities, 760 millimeter of mercury and P2 is a 273 at SPP. Now students, you have a P1, you have a V1, you have a T1 and you have a P2, you have a T2. So you will be able to calculate the volume of the gas. The volume of gas is calculated in your book is about 34.2 centimeter cube. Same numerical is given here in the box. A gas is collected over water 10 degrees centigrade. Same. Before it was 6, now 10. The pressure before it was 765 down, he said 803 millimeters of mercury, no problem. If the gas occupied volume V1 is given 73 centimeter cube, okay, before it was 35. Calculate the volume, same question. The dry gas at STP and aqueous tension before it was at 6 degrees centigrade, that was 7 millimeter of mercury. Now at 10 degrees centigrade is 9.2 millimeters of mercury. The same procedure, 100% same. V1 is given, P1 you have to subtract 803 minus 9.2, you will get the P1, and at standard temperature pressure the P2 is this and P2 is this. Apply this formula and calculate the volume. The answer is 73.55 centimeter cube. So 100% same, this one you have to calculate. Dear students, we stop here. Then we have to use a new topic, diffusion and diffusion of the gases. So thank you very much.